last time. It was nice.
Hello, guys. We're just lamenting. Guys, it is 5 o'clock. It's time for a little after hours real estate. We're just lamenting, like, that's Steve's song, and he can never hear it on the platform because evidently it just doesn't play on that side. And he got mad and left.
No, every time I get a phone call, it interrupts this video.
Guys, I'm Chris. I'm a real estate broker out of Dripping Springs, Texas, just outside of Austin. And that is my friend Steven Babcock. He's
Hello,
a
sir.
mortgage loan originator, also just outside of Austin in Lago Vista, Texas, city by the lake, the Lago. Man, how goes it?
I'm tired.
Yeah, tired. That's good. We were just talking about that. Steve's got a little boy that's liking to wake up at 4 in the morning.
He's on the autism spectrum, and anyone out there with a kid on the autism spectrum probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's been sleeping quite well until he gets sick. When he gets sick, nothing can keep him asleep. So, we don't fight it that much, but it's been rough for about a week now.
Man, yeah, I can't even. I can't even. But guys,
All right.
what we typically do on the show is we talk about real estate, we talk about mortgages, we talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about Steve's son, we talk about Steve's new job. He's also a gold professional. I don't know what the hell you call it. The dude sells coins and gold and silver and platinum, probably, right?
You know what? Yes, and palladium.
What's palladium? I don't even know what palladium is.
Actually, it's a type of platinum. So they're
Platinum's a
both of them.
freaking element. How is there a type of platinum?
Those platinum and palladium. All right, and they're both from the same school basically, and they're used on carburetors.
Carburetors?
Yep. If the car industry went out of business tomorrow, the prices for those two would drop like 70 or 80%.
Catalytic converters.
That's what I said.
It's like carburetors.
Yeah, that's what I said. You heard me wrong. But I
Oh,
said
okay, my
Cadillac
bad.
converters. Yeah.
I apologize. I apologize.
Listen, I don't speak that language. I'm sorry. But I do know it's tied to the car industry.
I mean,
And
you drive a Tesla. Of course, you don't know anything about engines. I'm just saying.
true. You know, my dad worked for General Motors for 33 years. I
That's why I'm
told you that.
giving you shit.
Did I
Like,
tell you? Did I tell you what he said about engines?
he is so disappointed in you.
Yeah, no, that's not what he said. He said that General Motors actually sold engines. They didn't sell motors, so they should have been called General Engines. A motorboat isn't really a motorboat; it's an engine boat. I mean, today it's probably a motorboat, right? But it's not a motor back there; it's an engine.
I don't know the difference between a motor and an engine.
All right, well, that's fine. But the bottom line is that motors are electrified, engines are combustible.
So you drive a car with 4 motors. I understand.
So they should have been General Engines.
General Engines. Gotcha. Okay. Is that why it's no? That's Ford Motor Company. The hell,
Correct.
they're all wrong. They're all wrong.
Oh.
Guys, this is exactly what we're talking about. We are going to get to some interesting stuff about interest rates today. But before we do, we always like to have an adult beverage. My friend, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking both beer and water at the same time, so I don't have to really worry about drinking water later.
That's right. You will stay hydrated with the
My
silver
Blue Mountains here. They're still a little blue, so that works.
Do you know why Coors tells you to make their beer really cold?
Do I want to know the answer to this?
No. I mean, you do. It's not bad.
Okay.
This is the reason, like, Germans and English drink their beer at room temperature, because when you make it so cold, you can't taste the beer. Like, you can't taste that it tastes like crap. It's just cold. So that's why if you drink beer at cellar temperature, around 55 degrees, you can actually taste the beer. And you don't want to drink a Coors Light at 55 degrees. It's not good.
I feel Like I don't even want to drink anymore. Thanks a lot.
Just telling you. Or you could just do what
Real
I
mature.
do. I know. You can do what I do and just pour yourself a tasty cocktail.
Mm.
Little have you ever heard of Desert Door Distilling?
No.
They make a drink or a liquor called Sotol. It's like tequila, but it's a different plant, like mezcal, but a different plant. And it's here in Dripping Springs. It's really good. So I make ranch waters. Cheers.
Cool. Cheers, brother.
If you're a tequila fan, or I mean, find Desert Door. It's in a blue bottle. If you're in Texas, you can find it. Outside of Texas, actually, they do have it. They have it at a place in Colorado at a bar. Saw it up there. It's pretty crazy, man. Well, let's jump into this. A couple of things. First of all, I was looking for some of our real estate agents getting in trouble. Now, I
Yeah.
find any really well. There's one.
For good stories.
Like this is going to be kind of funny, right? First of all, you remember our friend that was the luxury real estate agent charged with biting a 7-year-old.
Oh my God. Yes.
So that is still in the news.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, this was funny to me. Virginia real estate agent and EMT charged with inappropriate contact with minors. Okay, that's terrible. But this is a separate news saying realtor. Why would they drop the EMT from that? Or why would one add one and not the other?
I would guess. Huh?
Headlines are tricky.
I would guess that an EMT is viewed as a nice person, and it's hard to shape the narrative if you're gonna make them sound nice right up front.
Yeah, and we talk about it all the time. Realtors are evil people, right? I mean, we're jackasses. That's a nice way to put it.
I'm still surprised that people didn't know that lenders could go to jail for not offering you a loan if you qualified for one prior to 2008.
Yeah.
You know, that a lot of people think, well, you guys were making way too much money back then, which isn't wrong, right? But like, there's this narrative that they were forcing people into loans they couldn't afford, and when you can only afford one type, and we have to give it to you by law, you're going to get that type of loan.
Yeah. That's it. I told you earlier we were going to get into a philosophical debate. Okay. And now I'm going to show you these two headlines. So people are getting charged with price gouging, rent gouging in California, the Eaton fires, right?
I've read about this.
Do you think price gouging is a thing? Like, is it a bad thing?
I know just enough to be dangerous about this particular headline. And from what I understand, it's close to impossible for the original owners to get in and build again. I've heard estimates of 15-year wait times just to break ground. And that's not the official word, but from people actually applying, I don't think anybody's even started building yet. I could be wrong on that front, but
I saw a couple of things like there's some stuff happening. I don't know what.
okay. Yeah, I mean, if you start reading into like the horror stories of what people are running into, they have to get revalued, they have to have several inspections, they have to. I mean, it's not easy. It sounds easy. It absolutely is not easy. And so I think that's an unfair question right now.
No. And I'm not talking about specifically here. I'm talking in general, as a general rule of things. How do you feel about price gouging?
Look, man, if an EMP went off tomorrow and the only cars that worked were cars without computer chips,
yep,
I think the prices on those cars should not remain $1,000. They should go up to 100,000 or more. Exactly. Probably more like $1 million.
Right.
Right. So, do you call that price gouging?
That's my question for you. I've got my feeling on price gouging.
I think you can't use the term price gouging when an entire neighborhood has gone up in flames and the government is so in the way that rebuilding is not really a realistic option. So now all of a sudden you have property you can't get rid of, you can't build on without a ridiculous weight of which time your kids aren't going to school there, or if they are, you're living in an RV or in a hotel someplace. The frustration's got to be through the roof, right? I can't imagine what those people are going through. And yeah, I think a lot of them would be like, you know what, just forget it, get rid of it, just go. I'm moving on with my life.
Yeah.
And in that case, are they allowed to lower the price? Because you keep running up with new laws, new rules on everything, and now maybe they can't even sell even if they want to,
Yeah.
right? And so, I don't know. I think that it
Well,
needs to be much more well defined in what we're talking about instead of an article that calls it that.
yeah, I mean, it's saying here that the price went up 38% to rent a house.
Because everybody had to rent the house. They couldn't build again.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, here's my thing. And by the way, guys, if y'all want to chime in on this, we'll read your comments. I think that's fair market. Like, think about the world of a hurricane. And this is something that I read. This guy got thrown in jail for doing this. Okay, actually, it's even worse. But I'll fill you in on it. So I think it was Hurricane Harvey or one of the other ones. I don't know. Louisiana, East Texas, something. Okay. This guy in somewhere up north, Dallas, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay. He got a big flatbed trailer and he went and bought like 70 or 80 generators. Like, bought every store in the area out of generators up there, put them on his trailer, drove down south to Louisiana, Texas, whatever, doesn't matter. He paid like $400 each for the generators, and he was selling them for $2,500 or $3,000 each. And people were gladly paying for them. And he got arrested. They took away all of the generators that he hadn't sold yet, threw him in jail, and charged him with price gouging. I'm going to say that's BS, personally.
So in real estate, it's very illegal. We're not allowed to do anything like that, nor will we ever. But in each instance that you've brought up here, you're talking about basically national disasters or emergencies,
Yeah.
right? And I think most people would agree that it's not cool to, start gouging prices during emergencies. However, I think the counter argument, because I'd be on your side of, just do whatever's free, right? If people paid for it, that's what they paid for it, right? But it's not like it was food or water. A generator is a little different. But still, I mean, there's definitely an argument on both sides. And I think that the argument would be, if he hadn't done that, those companies could have shipped those generators down there at a local store, and then they could be purchased at regular cost, right? And so he bought out all their stock, rendering them unable to help, even if they wanted to.
So if they would have shipped them down to a store, what would have kept some buyer down there from
Nothing.
going and buying every last one of them for the
Nothing.
store?
What you called
Because
gouging
he had
today, we
eight
used to
rent
call
houses.
entrepreneurship. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that used to just be smart back in the day. So
That's right.
just
Anyway,
depends on which era you were born, I think, at this point of our conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's my point. Like, I was going through here looking for stuff on the Realtor, and that caught me, and I'm like, you know what? I don't believe price gouging is a thing.
How do you think pawn shops work, right? I pay you less than what it's worth. I'm going to sell it for more than what it's worth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anyway, all right, I'll get off of that high horse for a second. Dude, so mortgage rates came down. They're dropping so fast. Well,
no, they have dropped so fast.
Yeah, exactly. They have dropped to this point. Wow. I mean, look, we're at the lowest point in 11 months. Dropping down here right around 6.25 ish for a standard, or for an average rate right now. Why did they drop this time?
Well, the Fed hasn't actually. The Fed has not actually lowered basis points at all, despite what you might read in the news. But the market thinks that the Fed is going to lower the basis points or rates by about 50 basis points, so about 0.5%.
We were thinking a quarter, and they dropped from 6.75 to 6.50.
It was inevitable. A few shows ago we talked about it. They follow the 2-year yield. 2-year yield was screaming that it was time. So they're always on a delay, but they do what the 2-year yield does. And the jobs numbers came out, doesn't look very good. That really doesn't mean much. I mean, it does. What it means is they're going to follow the 2-year yield. Every
Right.
time you can throw in all the news you want to, but we're going to look at the 2-year yield, which usually is in line with that kind of news, right?
Right.
Yep. Will
So
they
do you
push
want
them
me to,
even lower? Yeah. So go ahead.
I didn't know if you wanted me to go through this.
What
Uh,
it's going to say is we don't know if they're going to do it, but we think they will. And what I'm going to tell you is that the market is already adjusted as though they will, so that when they do, nothing will really happen to the
Nothing's
market.
going to happen. Yeah, that's exactly right. Um, the thing that's interesting now to me is that, and they keep going back and forth on this. It seems like it changes by the month. So they were talking about, okay, maybe one cut before the end of the year. Now people are expecting 2 to 3 rate cuts still this year, um, because of the jobs report. But I don't
You
know.
know what really bothers me is that the current administration is thinking about doing a housing or declaring a housing emergency.
Yeah, I was going to
What
bring
do,
that up.
what do they know that we don't know?
I don't even understand what is a housing emergency.
That's a great question. We should look that up.
I probably should look that up. Um, I'll look it up right now. You talk
Do it.
like you know something while I type slowly.
Talk like you know something while I type slowly. That's great. I'll tell you a funny story I had today.
Okay.
Um, it's actually a common fear, which is, I guess, it's not funny. I just thought it was interesting. Um, Back in 1934, the government uh, decided that it was no longer legal for you to own gold in general. I mean, there's a few caveats to that, but they basically told all of its citizens, all of our citizens, were told you must turn in your gold at a bank, and we will pay you a fair value for it. And it was like, can't remember. I already said on the show, but I think it was like $26.50 or something like that.
Yeah.
And once you pay us, we'll pay you. Okay, great, good. So everybody turned in their gold, and then a year later, the government revalued gold, almost doubling its price. Yay! Yay for
Price
everybody who,
gouging
yeah. Thanks
by
a
the
lot.
government.
All right, and so it was really just a play for the Fed to borrow more money or print more money back in the day when they were still tied to the gold standard. Um, but long story short is there was a guy that called me today. He's going to sell 6 figures of gold and buy even more gold to avoid this confiscation that he is sure is going to happen again. That he thinks that the government will say, "That's it. You have to turn in your gold. We'll pay you fair value for it," and then do the exact same thing and revalue it at like
Wow.
$15,000 or $20,000 an ounce. And at that point, then they'd have a lot more money to pay off debts out of thin air, basically. Um, and so it's not that bad of a play, except the backlash on confiscating gold. Well, there's
Whew.
a caveat to the old rule that if you have like collector's edition coins, like, now I don't mean like, what I mean is like a coin that is like an ancient Roman coin, or a pre 19 God, like if you were like before 1900, basically, those coins would probably be safe. He thinks, and so he's trading all of his modern gold in for ancient gold or older gold, and it's a very funny,
Huh.
not funny, it's very interesting, because if they
Yeah.
do go through with it, he wouldn't be able to do it at that point. So you'd have to do it right now. You'd have to exchange what you
Yeah.
have
You gotta
for
get
the
it out
older stuff. And they still have a lot of older, like $20 pieces from the early American years, 18 fill in the blank, and those are available. They're almost the same price as gold today, and so it's
now.
just a very interesting play. Those are cool coins to have, anyways. But
That is.
yeah,
So basically, this is just saying that the housing emergency is due to affordability and tight inventory and
what is a
elevated
housing emergency?
reasons for an emergency declaration: affordability crisis, limited supply, rising costs. Oh,
There we go.
under consideration, lowering construction cost. How do you do exemptions from tariff? This is funny. I saw this the other day. Thinking back to the shows that we've done in the past, do you remember what
It's like 9% or something, right?
7? Yeah, 7%
Cool.
of our building materials have tariffs on them, so that's not going to help.
So basically,
Regulation.
what he's saying is that 93% of the materials that go into your house have no tariffs on them.
No, they're low. They're
Oh,
from the U.S.
Right. And so that doesn't mean the prices of homes will be decreased by 7% at all. That would be if the items were free from all those nations now all of a sudden. So, but that's not the case. So at best, I think you could hope for maybe a 1 or 2% price
That's
reduction
what it
from that.
was. Yep, that's exactly what it was. Because they calculated it out and what the tariffs were and all of that other stuff, and it was like a 1%
Yeah. Instead of
valuation.
buying your lumber at $75 a blank, you're going to now buy it for, $62 a blank, that kind of thing. I don't even know if it's lumber, but you know what I mean. I don't even know what a
Right.
blank is. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So regulations, standardized building and zoning codes. Uh, I don't know if you can really keep doing
Oh, do you think? No, they can't supersede the local.
that. No.
Well, I don't know. Could a national emergency from the federal government
Oh,
supersede local building ordinances?
I mean, it could. God,
Are we
could you
sure? I don't know the answer to
imagine?
that. And if they could, though, my California argument from earlier is
I was
mute and
just going to say,
void.
can you imagine the people in California screaming?
Dude, all those property owners would be like, all right, let's go, let's build, let's
It
go
was
right
the
now,
build.
build fast.
There would
Imagine
be
being a builder
so,
out there, you'd be in
God,
such high demand. Oh my God.
do you know how many or how hard it would be to build a house anywhere else in this country if that happened? Every contractor would go to California to build houses.
They'd
Like,
erase like 75 years of pain in like a
yeah,
year.
yeah,
That would be the biggest, that would be the big, that'd be like as big as a gold rush, man.
yeah, it
Oh
really
my
would.
God.
Let me see what else. Decreasing closing costs. How are you going to reduce closing costs? Stephen, just let people know roughly if you are buying a home, roughly prepaids and all of that stuff in the state of Texas, what percentage of a home purchase is closing costs?
Honestly, I've been doing so many darn down payment assistance programs between 3 and 6.
Yeah. I find it pretty consistently 3 to 3.5. There's some that go higher, but yeah,
I'll
I
tell
do
you
a
when
lot
you're,
of conventional loans also.
yeah, it's a hard question to actually answer accurately because closing costs typically don't include down payment. So when people hear that, they're like, "Wait, that's it?" And then they show up and they're like, "What the hell? That's not what you said." It's like, "All right, well, I know that's not what I said." So let me also add, but that's why I said 3 to 6, right? Because a first time home buyer can get away with 3 to 3.5% down. And then you've got your 3 to 3.5% closing costs, and typically, if you're doing a first-time home buyer, you get reduced closing costs. So,
Yeah.
I that's just a ballpark estimate, but there you go.
Okay. There you go. I just wanted people to know, like, it's not, I mean, it's thousands of dollars, but again, if you've decreased 1% for tariffs and you completely get rid of all closing costs, including taxes and insurance, you've now affected the house market 4%, right?
Look, no, that's not true. What if they were going to waive taxes on all new home purchases for 3 years?
I mean, okay, so now
That would be awful, wouldn't it?
it would be terrible. I was about to say, so in Texas, you're looking at 1.5%
So what
times
would
three.
happen is, yeah,
So
because your taxes are 40 to 50% of your, 30, I'd say 30 to 50% of your bill, depending on, where you, I not 50, but mine's like 40% of my bill every
yeah,
month.
yeah,
Right. And so, if you got rid of that, people aren't going to just stay at the same price range. They're going to be, oh, I can afford how much more
no,
house now? And then, yep. And then 3 years later, they get hit. So that'd probably be built in. You wouldn't be able to do that.
yeah,
Um,
that would be horrible.
I don't know. Here I am, like fantasizing if the government got involved and did like blanket sweeping measures on. I'm not fantasizing because it would be terrible, but like my mind is like, wow, what would happen to all the values of it? It's kind of fun to like play the scenario in my head, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I always forgot. I mean, I never understood federal land for housing. Like I mean, they're not going to build in national parks, so I don't know. Is there a bunch of federal land just sitting around that doesn't have
So
anything on it? I don't
that's
know.
actually kind of creepy because the only places that people would want to build would be parks and the ones that are close.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Look, I mean, you got right out here. You've got LBJ's Ranch. You could just go put a bunch of houses on there.
I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy. The other part of all this is our national debt. the reason you are seeing it go up so quickly and at such an accelerated rate with oh my god, we went 1.1 trillion dollars in debt just now. Okay, yeah, it was because we haven't been able to refinance that debt. Remember you and I talked about this like a year or two ago or 3 years. It's been years now, but
It's been a while.
that the rates haven't gone down, so they haven't been able to refinance the debt. And if they don't
Everything's
get
refinancing at a higher rate.
if they don't get those rates down fast, we'll be doubling our national debt in a few years.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? When we're talking about rates, you have to talk about it in a way that people understand, which is we're trying to get your interest rates down on your house. And people are like, oh, yeah, we got to do that. But if you said, hey, we're trying to refinance all this debt, they would be like, that's the government's debt. It's not ours. So,
Okay,
I mean,
so the government needs money.
yeah,
How do they get that money? They issue bonds, right? So they borrow it from anybody who's willing to pay them the money right now.
yeah.
And the good news is it's the government; they're always going to make their payments, right? The bad news is it's a low rate. It's like 4%, 5%, something like that. And God, how deep do I really want to go in this?
I was just letting you go.
Yeah, I could go for a while, but long story short is that if we don't refinance the bonds that they have already been selling, that they owe money on at a lower rate, they're not going to be able to keep up with it. I mean, they were doing bonds at like it doesn't matter. The point is we have a massive debt wave coming, and it's not even started yet. It's really really bad.
Yeah.
So Trump has to force the Fed to lower the rate. If they don't lower the rate, the country's in big trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not talking about the citizens. I'm talking about the federal. But yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm
Them
just
too.
laughing because you sent me this also, and I thought it was funny. Ex-spouses are taking turns in the family home. That's so freaking hilarious.
That's rough.
It's a real thing, man. Like I talk to people pretty much on a weekly basis that are like, I don't want to sell my house because I've got a 3% interest rate. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. That's funny, man. That's funny. All right.
Yeah, we don't really need to read that one. The headline is pretty funny though.
Yeah. So talk about it, Gold Man.
I sent this. I haven't actually read it. I did send it though because it also has the Fed jobs data and the Fed policy, which we would have talked about anyways.
Yeah.
Right. And so go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll go through it if you want.
Yeah, sure. I was just usually we talk about how the Fed and their policies are impacting mortgage, and we've already done that today. So I figured we'd talk about how it's impacting gold and silver.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And silver, gold, by the way, for those who don't know, follows inverse the dollar. So when the dollar is doing terrible, gold goes way up, and when the dollar is doing really really strong, the gold goes way down in price. Okay.
You're good. Gold steadied in early European trade after touching record highs last week. U.S. dollar regained some ground from its late July lows, which is why gold came back a little bit. The modest rebound in the greenback and stronger tone in equity markets curbed safe haven demand, leaving precious metal consolidating gains. The latest U.S. labor market data added fuel to speculation of deeper monetary easing. The August non-farm payrolls report just showed 22,000 jobs created, well below forecast, while revisions revealed the first monthly decline in employment since 2020. So interesting, right? That another revision, and now all of a sudden we're losing jobs, and I think that was in July, right?
Yeah, we're definitely in a recession right now.
Yeah, I mean we've been for how long?
Well, I do believe it's 2 consecutive declines in GDP.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, that's what it used to be.
Convenient that was changed a few years back.
Yeah. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to point out here: unemployment went up to 4.3 from 4.2, so unemployment's up a tick. Oh yeah, there it is. And wage growth slowed to 3.7% year on year, underscoring weaker labor conditions. Jobs data is a wake-up call, said London-based commodity strategist Markets see a higher probability of a jumbo cut in September and at least 3 cuts by the end of the year. Back to that. Those expectations helped gold climb to fresh records last week, reflecting investor positioning for lower U.S. yields.
They hit all-time highs today. They almost hit 3,700. It's 36 and change.
Gold again?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you sent this to me this morning, so it's already outdated. Silver also entered a consolidation phase after its recent rally, weighed by firmer U.S. dollar and improving risk sentiment in global equities. While monetary policy remains a key driver, the industrial demand has provided a second leg of support for the metal. Why do they use silver in tech but not gold?
They do use gold in tech.
Well, why don't they ever talk about it?
So little of it is used that you'd have to have 200 computers to get, a tiny little bit. I mean, when you melt it down, it's not. It's barely a little. It's just, not much is used in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
People do scrap them for gold, though. If it was your full-time job, you could make a career out of it.
I have heard about people doing that.
Yeah. What most people don't know, though, silver is used in lots of things because it's cheap, right? But what most people aren't aware of is that about 2/3 of the world's silver has been destroyed due to manufacturing.
Yeah.
And so in the 80s, silver went up to $50 an ounce, right? And I mean, inflation has hit us since then, right? And we have less of it today than we did back then.
Wow.
Yeah.
And out of it. I mean, it's talking here about electronics, solar panels, emerging markets. Yeah, interesting. I'm going to pop ahead here. Attention now turns to U.S. inflation data later this week. A cooler reading would reinforce the dovish tilt already priced in, potentially giving gold and silver another lift. However, a firmer outcome could temper expectations for aggressive easing and extend the dollar's recovery. Combination of weaker labor data, central bank buying, and industrial demand suggests both metals remain supported, though short-term momentum hinges on the balance between policy expectations and currency movements. Let's talk a little bit about inflation and labor numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're seeing a lot about, I don't know how many federal workers at this point are not employed anymore, 79,000, I think. And then, deportation, self-deportation, and all of that stuff, getting a lot of jobs. Do you think that stuff is affecting the employment numbers? Like, I don't know how the employment numbers are done. You think so?
Yeah, definitely yes. Yeah. Okay. Because it's a net positive of 2, right? You free up a job that wasn't being counted, and then have someone work in that job, and then so it's you go from -1 to +1,
Gotcha.
right? Yes, and then when you get rid of a federal employee, and you no longer have to have private citizens pay for that federal employee. When that federal employee gets a private citizen job, they then pay taxes into the system like they were before, but they weren't really paying before. That's like saying, you're getting paid in cake, but because you put a tiny slice back, you still pay in cake. No, you're being paid in cake. You don't pay cake, right? Like they're taking less of it, but you're still being paid by cake, right? Everybody else had to make that cake for you, and and so you take them out of
the analogy I've ever heard.
But they do, right? They all have to get the ingredients. You're the one that's paid in it and eats the damn cake, right? We all go to work. I'm not saying you're not working. It's just where the money comes from is very important here, right? For this conversation. If you're taking money from the government, then we have to pay you. If you start working in the private sector, then you start paying into the government, and if there's less people there, then we all get to keep more money, right? It's that's how it's supposed to work. It never works that way. It won't work that way. But in an ideal world, it works that way.
Ideal world.
But yes, it's definitely affecting the numbers.
Okay, interesting. I hadn't really thought about it all that much.
Also, AI. I think AI is hitting us massively and not being reported on right now. I mean, it's being reported on, but it's like whispered about. Yeah, I think people are too afraid to talk about it.
Man, I go on both sides of that. Like, it's going to make a difference, but I don't know that it's going to make that big of a difference outside of a few industries. Like there's a few industries I think are going to be massively affected.
So I think you're right there. I do think that there will be a few industries where people will prefer to deal with another person as opposed to a
Yeah.
computer or a machine. Um, but other than those few, everyone's being replaced. I mean, think about the most valuable job right now. Like growing up, you and I were kids, and your grandmas wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're seeing that doctors are using surgical devices that are far more accurate than they ever could be, right? It's only a matter of time until the machine does it, right? That you've got lawyers that have to take weeks of billable hours looking up, court decisions, court cases. How are they going to fight and argue this decision? How are they going to make the I've got other people that are going to help me. We're gonna go get all the okay, but you could have a computer do it in seconds,
Yeah.
literally seconds.
I
Right?
think
Maybe
that'll
pay him like
affect
12
paralegals
bucks.
more than attorneys.
What'd you say?
I think that'll affect paralegals more than attorneys.
Well, to begin with, yes.
Well, that's
We're
true. Long term, yeah, you're right. You're right.
in the next year, you're going to see androids. And in the next 2 years, it's going to be like version 2 or 3. It's going to be like, wait, you don't have an iPhone? And I'm serious. These things are coming. One guy actually just sold a stack of silver last week, it was like 3 weeks ago. He's building them here. I met the guy. He's got an autistic son as well. It's really fun to meet him. He's a really nice guy. I'm not going to say his name because it's
Right.
private, but dude's building androids here in Texas. And I didn't mean designing them. He's already designed it. He's building
Wow.
them. Yeah, and they're
Okay.
going to have AI in them. Imagine a walking Chat GPT-5 that also knows how to look around the room and do stuff and can carry 40 pounds. Right. From what I'm hearing, they're keeping them right around 40 pounds because, yeah, you could hurt somebody at 40, but most humans can fight off a machine that can only lift 40 pounds. Right. And that's with both hands. So 20 pounds a hand kind of thing. But that's the idea. Right. They're not safe. We don't know anything about AI. We know that we've
So,
made it. We know that we don't understand it. And we know that if it has a problem, we put a little band aid on it. But then if somebody asks it to do the same problem a different way,
yep.
oh well, it did it again, right? That's why all these new algorithms are talking about Nazi and Hitler and stuff. It's like people get them to say that stuff.
What?
Yeah, look it up. Every time a new chat anything comes out, any new AI comes out, these geeks get on there and they try to break the thing, and then they release the conversation they've had. He's like, "See, it talked about Hitler and told me to be a swastika Nazi loving, blah blah blah," and then like they put there's article. Just look it up, man. There's articles about it all over the place.
Oh God.
The new Grok was doing that. They had to go in and say you may not talk about this, that kind of stuff, but it doesn't
Train
really
it.
control it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Scary stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is.
You already know several people that have lost their jobs because you're not hiring them anymore to do your videos.
No, I'm still hiring people to do my videos.
Shot in the foot.
But so this is kind of cool. I will show you something that I've been working on here.
Well, I know many realtors that have.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's just not good enough for what I need yet.
You're doing great videos, so I'm not going to fight you on that one.
So check this out. And letting people kind of get an idea of the power, right? Okay. So I've got a client's house that's not selling, and it needs renovation work, right? And people now are pretty lazy, so they don't really want to, do the work. But we had this idea, and my editor is about to. I don't know why this is so long. Anyway, we had this idea to
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, this is a ton. Had this idea to walk through with with one of my renovation contractors, and we talked about doing some updates. And so what we're going to do is he's going to put together a bid based on the changes that we talked about. And I popped it, and Chat won't do it for me. Like Chat's not very good, but I heard that Gemini is better, and I'm using it, and so I'm doing it right. So this is the existing kitchen. And so I start working with Gemini. Oh man.
Oh, and it's going to remodel it for you.
Yeah, let me show you the
That's pretty cool.
like that's one of the iterations, and it's changed a lot. But I'll pull up the one that I'm actually going to use.
Man, that's so much
So
more open.
it will. The craziest thing is it's jobs like this, right? It's the designers. Not everybody wants to go hire a designer.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least to get basic designs, you know, to get some
Right.
ideas.
Yeah, get ideas. Yeah, so here's the it keeps putting it on the wrong side. Sorry.
So are you suggesting that by doing this, you've not gotten rid of somebody who does this professionally? Right? I mean,
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like this actually has, like this is taking jobs away from somebody because this took me, I don't know, there was a learning curve, right? So there was a few hours involved, but now I've got, I don't know, 10 different renderings that, yeah,
do you remember like 2 years ago, you wouldn't ever have been able to do that?
never, never in a
Do
million
you
years.
remember those weird AI videos where like the
Yep.
face would be like moving as they were talking to you on the AI, right? And it's like, dude, that's just, these computers
Oh,
suck, man.
here you
Now
go.
you can't tell. Now they're so good that that looks like an actual picture.
I've got one other thing for you.
It still has the power socket on the wall, the light switches. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's got the recessed lighting. It has shadows. It's that's a real picture as far as
yeah,
I'm
that's
concerned.
crazy, right? The shadows at the bottom.
Just imagine in another 2 or 3 years where it's going to
Yeah,
be,
how good it's going to be.
and
I
it's going
think.
to be in an Android in your house.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
yeah. I mean, you're right.
if you can have it power wash your windows, why can't you have it power wash everybody's windows on the block?
Fair point. Um, okay.
Can I borrow
So
your Android for the afternoon? We get rid of all landscaping companies. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. This is AI, by the way.
Man, they made you look good in that video. I'm just kidding. Oh, I don't hear any of that.
Um,
You telling me that's not you in the video? That's AI that did that?
that's AI.
Oh my god.
That's
Hmm.
pretty crazy, right?
So I've been uploading my music into this AI called Suno, Suno,
Okay.
and like a song with me singing, playing a guitar, and then maybe I'll do another track with me doing harmonies and stuff, right? And then
Right.
it's not really complete. And I have a bunch of those. I mean, a lot of them. And I've been putting them into this AI, and then I'll type out a few more lyrics, finish off the lyrics for the song, and then hit create and cover my song. And it's like a band covering me, and I can have it in any genre. And it's like I can finally listen to my music the way I've always wanted to listen to my music.
Okay.
Where it's my tones, it's my melody, it's my notes, everything. But then the rest of the band's there, and it makes it sound really really polished, and like it's really fun to play with, man.
That's
It's
cool.
really fun.
That is cool. Oh, I just removed you for some reason. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, man. So anyway, very cool stuff happening with AI.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you miss Dad, or are you just tired?
I just missed Dad and I'm tired too.
We're all kind of tired around here.
Yeah. Let's wrap this up, my friend. Guys, we do it every Monday, 5 o'clock ish. And if you're really looking for some fun, you should find a cocktail and you can join us. Steve, I
Good seeing you,
appreciate
man. It's good seeing you, brother.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Y'all have a good week.